up, Tzu Chi Foundation receives the World Buddhist Outstanding Leader Award in Thailand. We learn how lanterns throw add festivities to the Spring Festival is in fact harmful to our planet. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up, in Thailand on February 15th, the Office of National Buddhism and the World Fellowship of Buddhist Youth organized a ceremony to hand out the World Buddhist Outstanding Leader Award. Of the 178 religious representatives or organizations awarded, Tzu Chi was among the recipients of the honor.
The Tzu Chi year-end blessing ceremony held in January this year was disrupted by an anti-government demonstration in Bangkok. Tzu Chi volunteers, however, overcame all difficulties and proceeded with the event as planned. In recent years, Thailand has been plagued by political turmoil with ongoing clashes between the UDD and PAD. In a country where 95% of the population is Buddhist, religion brings a semblance of stability and calm to hearts and minds. Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand have, through their selfless giving, inscribed an endless great treasury of sutras for Tzu Chi. The Office of National Buddhism and the World Fellowship of Buddhist Youth organized a ceremony on Makha Puja Day to present the World Buddhist Outstanding Leader Award, and Tzu Chi was among the recipients of this honor.
People around the world know that Tzu Chi volunteers continue to dedicate themselves to working for Buddhism and for all living beings. They help those who are in need all over the world. I myself have been to Taiwan and visited DaAi TV and the Jinse board in Hualien. I'm deeply moved by Tzu Chi, and I'm even more honored to award this recognition to the Tzu Chi Foundation.
Of the 28 countries present at the event, 178 organizations or individuals received the award. Holding the trophy in hand, in their hearts, volunteers hold a deeper sense of mission for Tzu Chi.
In 2012, the deadly Hurricane Sandy swept across the east coast of the United States. Soon, Tzu Chi's aid poured in from all over the world, not only providing material assistance to disaster survivors, but also accompanying them on the path to recovery. Master Zheng Yan recently received a greeting card from the U.S. President Barack Obama, in which he expressed his gratitude to the Master and Tzu Chi for its humanitarian assistance.
Inside this card is a pop-up 3D image of the White House, signed by U.S. President Barack Obama and members of the First Family. This blessing from the White House was sent to the Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters, and having traveled across oceans, finally reached the hands of Master Zheng Yan at the Hualien Jinse boat in Taiwan.
This is President Obama's recognition of Tzu Chi. The card contains the President's greetings to the Master and his heartfelt gratitude to Tzu Chi. Master Zheng Yan has also conveyed her sincere thanks in return.
When Hurricane Sandy struck the east coast of the United States in October 2012, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately headed to the disaster areas to provide hot meals, daily necessities, and distributed cash cards to the survivors. During this time, apart from the relief supplies, the volunteers' care never faltered, and their humanitarian efforts were recognized by the U.S. mainstream society.
Tzu Chi volunteers give without asking for anything in return, and we are confident in knowing that Tzu Chi's spirit of great love has traveled across oceans and spread to all corners of the world.
The love and mutual assistance that emerges during times of crisis shows the world just how powerful love can be, and this fountain of purity will continue to flow to all corners of the world.
Also in the United States, recently the Panda Restaurant Group held its annual Panda Leaders Conference, during which city volunteers were invited to share their stories on the relief work in the Philippines and also introduce the organization's positive message to those in the audience.
With some 2,000 stores across the United States, the Panda Restaurant Group regularly sponsors charitable events in communities throughout the nation. Recently, the company held its annual Panda Leaders Conference.
Today, the conference mainly talked about how to reciprocate and how to offer assistance to local communities.
At the conference, Tzu Chi volunteers discussed how they have helped Typhoon Haiyan survivors with cash for work programs.
Warm welcome to Dr. Gohan.
Master Zheng Yan, the founder of the Tzu Chi Foundation, she said there's only one possible solution: large-scale cash for work program. The point of a cash for work program is to make sure you activate the disaster victims, the disaster survivors, to go out and do work, not just sit there.
Workers and clients of the Panda Restaurant Group all made donations for the Typhoon Haiyan survivors. So we want to take this opportunity to show what Tzu Chi had done to help the Filipinos get back on their feet.
Later, the volunteers prepared Tzu Chi's instant rice and vegetarian dishes for the company's workers.
After watching the presentation on the Philippines, thinking about the debris and the devastation, and then being able to have a hot meal every day, I can relate to that, and I can see how it can bring comfort to them.
The volunteers also invite everyone to attend the Jinsi seminar, which will be held in Taiwan in March.
It was a pleasure to attend the orientation meeting, and I also signed up for the Jinsi seminar. I'm deeply touched by Tzu Chi's charitable deeds. Everybody was united in love. I want to learn more of Tzu Chi's ideals and bring them back to share with my peers and my company.
I could be able to bring it back to my peers and to my company as well.
Staying in the United States, a tragic accident took place where a 24-year-old Chinese student, Gao Yuan, passed away during the Chinese New Year while touring around the Grand Canyon. Upon learning of the tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers assisted Gao's parents in organizing a memorial service. Bidding farewell to beloved family members is never an easy thing. Gao Yuan, a research student in Beijing, China, was touring in Grand Canyon when she was involved in a vehicle accident and passed away. The Chinese community in Arizona contacted Tzu Chi to help assist Gao's parents in organizing a memorial service.
Gao Yuan is an outstanding and fine young lady. We are really sad about what has happened.
This is really devastating for Gao Yuan's parents. Upon learning of what has happened, we quickly mobilized to pick up the parents from the airport and arrange this service.
At the Buddhist memorial service, Tzu Chi volunteers accompany the bereaved family members and provide comfort and support in times of need. Moving to Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers regularly visit their care recipient Ms. Ling, who lives in New Taipei City's Ruifang district and suffers from depression. At their most recent visit, Geelong Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up the couple's home, while also bringing in second-hand furniture to give the house a big makeover.
Setting off from the recycling station, Tzu Chi volunteers drive a truck full of second-hand furniture to care recipient Miss Lin's home. Upon arrival, the volunteers immediately start wiping down the furniture.
We collect unused furniture that is still in good shape to help those in need. I hope each household can live a better life with my help. It's my pleasure to be part of this charitable mission.
With a little creativity, volunteers give these second-hand items a second lease on life. Later, they clear away any old furniture and proceed to give the house a thorough cleaning.
I'm truly grateful that the volunteers are here to help me refurbish my house, making it warmer and cleaner in the process.
They said that they are happy to see so many Tzu Chi volunteers visiting them, bringing joy to their home. They find the second-hand furniture to be as good as new, so they are very moved to receive these gifts.
Moved by the volunteers' kind gestures, the Lim family is all smiles. On this day, friends and relatives also showed up to help out.
Because of the volunteers, I realized that I am not alone. Tzu Chi brothers and sisters often show their support and encourage my husband and I to strive on in the face of the challenges ahead.
Now with the new furniture, the house has become bright and clean. Putting a spring carpet on the wall, volunteers hope with such words of wisdom, Miss Lin and her family will find sufficient strength and hope to face the days ahead.
In celebrating the Lantern Festival, Taiwan's residents will normally purchase a small lantern to add to the festivity. However, modern-day lanterns are no longer made from tin cans or candles as they were in the past. After the holidays are over, these commercially made lanterns are often thrown away, creating more harm to the environment we live in.
Lantern Festival celebrations are not complete without a small personal lantern. However, after being used once, what then happens to the lanterns? After Lantern Festival is over, we should not just throw the lanterns into the garbage. Lanterns are made up of plastic, light bulbs, wires, and batteries, all of which are recyclable materials. On the other hand, if the lanterns are buried or burned, they will release toxins into the environment.
They contain a lot of plasticizer, and if they are incinerated, heavy metals will be released.
There should actually be a special recycling process for these lanterns.
These cartoon lanterns are children's favorite, but the colors mask the hazardous and toxic metals hidden inside.
The colors might contain lead or cadmium. Lead ingestion can affect a person's IQ. As for cadmium, it can affect our bones and kidneys.
We have not collected many lanterns this year, which leads us to believe that residents may not know they are recyclables and are simply throwing them away.
Carrying out a lantern festival is very costly. Take Taipei's Lantern Festival, for instance. It ran 10 days from February 7th to 16th and was estimated to cost $1.8 million. After the lights are gone, what is left? A bunch of recycled materials and trash. Maybe instead of spending so much on short-lived festivals, the money can be better spent helping the needy.
Throughout the Lantern Festival, local government officers around the island hand out lanterns to members of the public to celebrate the holiday. But do you know what happens to these lanterns after the festival is over? Inside these lanterns are tiny batteries, which are usually thrown away as trash. And as these batteries contain heavy metals and toxins that are harmful to our environment, the best solution is to recycle them whenever possible.
These blinking lanterns attracts residents to line up to get one free, but did you know the batteries inside can pollute our environment if it's not recycled? After a while, it won't light up anymore, so it might be accidentally thrown away. This year in Taiwan, to celebrate Lantern Festival, city governments island-wide handed out free lanterns. In northern Taiwan, 370,000 were handed out. In Kaohsiung, 200,000.
At the core of the lantern are 3-button cells. We will remove these batteries for recycling, but I believe most consumers will overlook these batteries and just toss them into the trash.
Due to its small size, these batteries can easily be thrown away as trash. However, this tiny battery's toxicity is not to be taken lightly. A button cell contains mercury and more heavy metal than many other types of batteries. And if these toxins are released into the environment, they can contaminate food sources.
If buried or left in the ground, the toxins will permeate into our groundwater. Or if it gets into our waters and we eat the fish that live in them, then we can get sick from mercury poisoning. Mercury is a neurotoxin. Besides damaging kidney functions, a patient's overexposure can result in dialysis, or it can also cause cardiovascular disease.
The batteries collected island-wide end up at the recycling centers like this one. After initial separation to remove impurities, the battery then goes through a process to break down the heavy metals for reuse. Scrutinizing batteries on the conveyor belt, these workers carefully categorize the recycled batteries. However, no matter if it's careful manufacturing or government-enforced post-usage recycling, the real solution to decrease the amount of toxins released into our environment by batteries lies within consumers.
In the Philippines, to encourage more people to join Tzu Chi, volunteers held 2 blessing ceremonies in Marikina City. But first, we go to Taiwan, where a spring festival was held at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. Among the participants was Zhou Yuming, who came with his Filipino wife to express their gratitude to the Buddhist NGO for its relief work following the recent catastrophe.
Nearly 300 members of the public gathered at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital in Xindian District to celebrate the arrival of spring. Touched by Tzu Chi's effort in helping Haiyan survivors in the Philippines, Zhou Yuming and his wife drove all the way from Shenkeng District to give their thanks.
My wife is Filipino. I was devastated when Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines. Whenever I saw Tzu Chi volunteers helping Haiyan survivors on DaAi TV, I couldn't hold back my tears.
In behalf of the people of the Philippines, I am so say thank you to the Tzu Chi Foundation, because the enormous help they are giving to the victims of the typhoon.
Moved by the volunteers' gestures, Zhou Yuming, who is a chef, decided to join the volunteers' ranks and use his expertise to benefit others. While a young philosophy graduate says that Tzu Chi's spirit of learning by doing has encouraged him to walk the Tzu Chi path.
Tzu Chi's spirit of learning by doing is a good way to cultivate our minds. It will also help us to be a better person.
Other than inspiring members of the public in Taiwan to join the Buddhist NGO, in the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers held 2 blessing ceremonies in Marikina City. A video clip showing the Buddhist NGO helping Haiyan survivors has deeply touched the hearts of those in the audience. The director of the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter next seized the opportunity to introduce Tzu Chi's philosophy of gratitude, respect, and love.
Many disaster survivors were confused when Tzu Chi volunteers thanked them. Why were the volunteers saying thank you? It is because the Haiyan survivors gave us the chance to contribute our love.
Among the volunteers helping our Haiyan survivor is Michael Tai, who hopes to encourage more people to give.
The more you give, the more you will receive. The less you give, the less you will receive. If we contribute a lot, we will gain blessings beyond our expectations.
Other than being joined by local residents, the event also saw the participations of teachers and students from San Mateo High School. Finally, at its completion, everyone went home with a blessing and wisdom red envelope embedded with the volunteers' love and care.
Over the past 2 weeks, Taiwan has experienced a fluctuation in temperature, with temperatures warming up during the day but plummeting at night. Such frequent temperature fluctuations often trigger allergic reactions. For this, doctors have a few remedies that can help relieve these symptoms. Let's take a look.
Sneezing non-stop, Musling's allergy symptoms are just like the fluctuating temperature we are experiencing here in Taiwan.
There are many symptoms of allergic rhinitis. The most common of these are sneezing, congestion, or a runny nose. Some people's eyes become itchy and it spreads to the nose and ears.
Sudden changes in the temperature or humidity often triggers the allergy. Doctors recommend that massaging specific acupressure points can help relieve the symptoms.
People with allergic rhinitis are also prone to itchy, watery eyes. By massaging those acupressure points, it can unblock the nasal passages and relieve symptoms of these allergic reactions.
Doctors also recommend another remedy. Cook about 19 grams of astragalus, 11 grams of goji and 10 red dates with 1.2 liters of water in the steamer can help boost our immune system. However, those who are put on antibiotics for flu or colds are not advised to drink it, as it may trigger side effects.
Stay in Taiwan to strengthen the bond between members of the public and police officers. The police department in Kaohsiung's Renwu branch recently launched the Smiling Police campaign. Next, we meet police officer Huang Shunyu, whose hard work and smile has won him the title of Smiling Policeman.
Greeting members of the public in front of the police station. This is police officer Huang Shunyu, who is the winner of the Smile Police campaign.
Our branch has launched a campaign where we encourage our police officers to smile. Members of the community have been supportive and gave us good feedbacks.
Before, when I saw the policeman, I always felt that there was a distance between us. Now it's not the same anymore. I felt very warm when I saw their smiles.
Wanting to become a police officer since young, 4 years ago, Huang Shunyu passed the police officer examination and became qualified. Having a deep passion for his job, recently Huang even helped a senior with dementia find her way home.
When I drove to the Chengguan police station, we got a call from the senior's family members. The senior kept telling me that her daughter won't come home until later in the afternoon. We decided to let her stay in our station, and I drove her home every hour to check if her daughter was at home.
A smile is the best form of communication. It not only strengthened the bond between members of the public and police officers, but also gave officers the chance to show their gentle side.
We go back to the Philippines at the end of the show, where a second-hand charity sale was held at the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter grounds. Not only were second-hand items given a new lease on life, but the proceeds also went to help Typhoon Haiyan survivors. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.